Hey, what's up guys? Sean here. So Greg and I are out here on the Santa Fe River for my second half of the Santa Fe. We're coming down here to spend a couple nights down on the river, and Greg back over there. Greg's pedaling around in his fancy new kayak. So we're gonna spend a couple nights down here on the river and just generally enjoy ourselves. Let's get it. Now, if you want to go back and watch the first part to this river series here, I'll link it up in the card above. I did night down on the Santa Fe River, and it turned out to be a really neat camp out. But this is Greg and I's kind of annual trip that we try to do, and the third annual trip. And so if you want to go watch the first couple of those trips, I'll leave those in the card up there too. We actually did one where we hiked down on the Florida Trail to I can't remember which shoals was it, Falling Creek, and up near White Springs up there, and that turned out to be a really neat trip too. We like to froze our butt off on that one, but it was a really cool trip, so I'll link that one in the card up there too. But like I said, this is like our third annual trip, and I wanted to do the other half of this river, and so Greg put in for his vacation, and this is what he decided to do on his vacation, was come paddle the river with me. So should be a good trip though. So we may end up having a little more noise on the video this time, because I was smart enough to take the microphone off this time. So we're gonna try our best to do our talking and stuff like that when the wind's not blowing, but it is kind of breezy, so might be a little more wind noise than normal, but at least hopefully we can keep the camera working. Priorities. Oh, Greg. Well, I tell you, we couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day to paddle down here. The breeze is blowing, sun shining. It's supposed to be a high, you know, mid to high 70s today, but with the breeze blowing and everything, it feels awesome down here. And the river's flowing so fast that you only have to paddle just a little bit, and been a nice paddle so far. Well, I gotta tell you, you want to talk about a relaxing paddle? This has been like paddling a recliner for the last hour or so, however long we've been on the river. And I mean, just slow paddle, just floating along here. And if we paddle too hard or paddle too much, we're gonna end up being at the other end of the river down there before we know it. At some point coming up here, we're gonna have to pick a place to camp for either the night or the next couple nights. I'm thinking for the next couple nights. It would be nice to set up a base camp and then be able to just paddle out of there and check things out. But we're gonna have to get past all these houses and find the area down there that isn't posted. And wow, look at this burl. Pretty crazy. That's a big burl. But you know, I didn't really set up a good plan of where we were going to try to camp. Just kind of do like we did last time and fly by the seat of our pants, or like I did last time, and just kind of find somewhere to camp along the river here, which we should be able to do no problem. But yeah, so here coming up pretty soon, we're going to have to start looking for somewhere to camp. Well, it's shallow here. So we went ahead and stopped, and there's a little island here. The river splits this island. On that side, it's moving pretty fast. So I wanted to kind of get up here and walk around a little bit and see what it looked like, and see if that side was going to be a better option than this side. It looks like it is, but it also looks pretty shallow. So I don't know, we're going to have to take a look at it and see what we can do, because this side over here, I don't think I want to try that. Well, I don't know. It might not be too bad. We might be able to run that side. I want to check this other side, see what it looks like though. If this side will work and it's not too shallow, that side would be the best side, I think. A little more controlled. But we'll see. Now, I also haven't seen anything that says that we couldn't just camp on this island for the night either, which might be kind of cool. And I mean, it's a nice little area here. So I think let's go back over here and see what this other side looks like, and then have a talk over with Greg and see what he thinks, and then we'll make a decision. So this side looks much more controlled, but it may also be much shallower, so we'll get down here a little bit closer and take a look. Okay, so I think what we're going to try to do is make our way around this other side over here. It is shallower, but it's definitely a little bit less treacherous, I think. So if we can make it back up that way and around, I think we'll be in good shape. Well, we made it around, and we're heading on down here. Starting to lose light. and we got to try to find somewhere to camp pretty quick because we're starting to lose light. But I keep seeing posted signs in the trees up here, so fingers crossed we can find something pretty quick because it's gonna get dark pretty fast. So that's what happens when you don't do any planning, right? That seems to be my modus operandi. Alright, so we found a spot we think. It's not ideal, but it is what it is for tonight. We have just run out of daylight and we've got to get set up. So, that being the case, let's get set up. Well, we have lost light already. Greg and I got to get our dinner done. We both brought a steak to cook. But it's been a long day. I think I'm gonna leave you with it tonight. I'll see you guys in the morning. Hey, good morning, guys. So, slept really good last night. It was down in the mid 50s last night, I believe, and slept really good. We didn't think this was going to be a very good campsite because, you know, it was just what we had to find. We ran out of light and had to find somewhere. And there is a couple houses around here. We wanted something a little more secluded. But honestly, this has turned into a really nice little campsite here. It was really quiet out here last night. And turned out okay. I think we are going to pack up today and paddle on down some. But first, we got to get some coffee. So I got that coffee on. It should be ready here in just a few minutes. And I'm ready for it. Got me some oatmeal, and I actually got me a little piece of ham that Sarah and I picked up when we were on vacation, and I think I'm gonna try that this morning, so it should be good. Coffee. So I got this ham cooked up here. Sarah and I got on vacation. It's pretty neat because it's all cured up. You don't have to refrigerate it. And it was in a little pack and it had just a couple little pieces in it. See how it tastes. Good, but it's ham. It's very salty. Good though. Alright, give you a little update on this Get Out Gear blanket. It's doing really well. Highly recommend this blanket. So last night we got down to, like I said, the mid 50s, 54, something like that. And I did learn to lay the blanket diagonal across me like a diamond, the point goes down toward my feet, and I've got plenty of room to kind of wrap my feet up with it, and then it makes it all the way up past my chest. And really lightweight, really comfortable, and honestly, it's been really warm, down to the mid 50s, like I said. So, and I was in my hammock. So last night I just had my this little get out gear blanket and my DIY underquilt that I made, and I stayed plenty warm last night. So thought I'd give you a little update on that and let you know how it's going with this thing. And I'm really happy with it so far. And it packs down super small, doesn't weigh anything. Alright guys, so we're all packed up and out of there. I did take another couple bottles of water up there and make sure that fire was good and out. And we got everything picked up and the leaves raked back in place, so leave no trace, right? We are back on the water. It's a beautiful morning, and we're gonna go see what we can see. Greg done took off and left me. Double decker. Yeah, that's nice. That's heavy duty there, buddy. So I'm very surprised. We have come probably 10 miles or so since we put in yesterday, and we have seen a truckload of turtles, but haven't seen the first gator yet, which is kind of surprising to me. But I don't know. I know they're out here. We just haven't seen any yet. Kind of interesting. Wonder why. Hey, good morning. This little section right here, this is the confluence where the Itchtuttony River dumps into the Santa Fe River. It's beautiful right through here. Hey, good morning. So since the Itchtuttony is really nice, clean spring water, I'm going to go ahead and stop here and fill us up a bag of water to filter for later. And that way we're not filtering the tannin water out of the river. We can get this really nice, clear spring water out of this Itchtuttony River.
Maybe Father's Day. Our anniversary. Did you get one for each kid? No. Warm. Uh-huh. Surprisingly warm. Jump in, Mike.
Nice and clean. Okay, so we are heading back down. Now we're at a point where we would like to try to find a nice section of the river here where we can actually just set up a camp for the rest of the day and just paddle the last little bit tomorrow. We're not too far from where we're going to try to take out at. So now we're just on a hunt. We've got plenty of time now. It's only like 11 o'clock, 11:30 or something. And so we've still got plenty of time today to find somewhere to camp. Yesterday we didn't even get on the water until noon or a little bit better. So I think we're doing a lot better today. Now that is nice. That's what we need right there. A little houseboat like that. That would make it really, really nice to come down to the river and just take the boat down. Man. Alright, so I think we found us a nice little spot to set up here. Got the river right here behind us. It's down the bank there a little ways. And really nice area right here. So I think we're going to set up between a couple of these trees, kind of in a V formation, and get ready to relax. We're going to kind of take the rest of this day and chill. So now we got to get set up. Okay, so we basically kind of halfway got camp set up. We've got enough set up to just kind of relax for the afternoon, and then this evening we'll put the tarps up and stuff. But I want to talk to you about something. Now, I've shown you in the last couple of videos this little Hiking Sure inflatable pillow. I think of all the things that I've gotten recently for camping, this thing has been a game changer. So I've only used it twice before last night, and both of those times were in that one Tigris tent, and it worked great in there. But let me tell you, this thing was awesome last night in the hammock. It's perfect width, that way when I lay my head back, it holds the hammock out just a little bit, and it didn't try to slip away from me last night or anything. This thing is a game changer. So I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in this. It will be an affiliate link, so if you buy it through that link, it will help me out just a little bit. And but all in all, I'm not really trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you that this thing is freaking awesome. Really enjoyed it, and that's all I can say. So if you want one, I'll leave a link in the description. Homemade beef jerky. It's a little bit over dehydrated, but still good. Tastes good. So tonight for dinner, I brought a pack of chunk white chicken, and I'm gonna just heat it up and put a little bit of seasoning in it. And I brought some of these little sweet Hawaiian flour tortilla street tacos, and I got some little hot sauce and stuff to go with them, so that should be good for dinner tonight. But for lunch today, I think I'm gonna do this sweet Thai chili and steal a couple of these little wraps out of there and make me some sweet Thai chili wraps. I think that sounds pretty good, so see how that does. Try this thing out. That's really good with that Hawaiian wrap too. That's sweet, spicy, savory. That's a winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Messy though. What are you cooking over there, Greg?
Corned beef hash.
Corned beef hash. That sounds good. Well, we have the whole afternoon to just kick back and relax. And let me tell you, I'm fixing to kick back and relax. It has been a beautiful day today. The weather, you couldn't ask for better weather. And up here on this hill, it's nice and breezy. And I got my belly full now. I think I'm fixing to kick back in here. I'm gonna put my earbuds in and I'm gonna pretend to listen to my audiobook, and then the next time I listen to it, I'll have to back up and figure out where I was at when I left off. Because I know it won't be long and I'll be gone. Well, so due to an unfortunate turn of events yesterday, Greg ended up losing his fishing pole, and we just been kind of milling around, and I watched this guy over here catch like several good sized catfish, and we just couldn't stand it, so we made us a fishing line out of some tarred mariner line. I just took it apart and shredded it up a little section of it, that way it would fit inside a hook. And then I went ahead and heated it up and melted it back together right there. That way it would still have a little heavier end on it. Don't really have any bait, all I've got is bread. So I made a dough ball and put it on the hook and threw it out there. So we'll see. I don't know if it'll catch anything or not, but we'll see. So I think we're just going to leave that to soak for a little while, see if it does anything. Just being a dough ball, I don't know if it'll actually do anything, but better than nothing, right? Well, as you can see, we're starting to lose light a little bit. And I know I didn't get you any footage last night of the steak and all that stuff, and I apologize. Yesterday was just hectic. And so tonight I'm gonna go ahead, get you a little footage of me making my dinner. Let's get into it. Oh, look what I found. So I'm gonna use my little pot that I've got here, and got some chicken in here somewhere, and then these, I'm gonna use these again. So I've got this pouch of Tyson white meat chicken breast, and literally all I'm gonna do is put them in the pot and just kind of heat them up a little bit and put some seasoning on them, and then put them in a wrap. So I've got some little packets of hot sauce with me too, so that should make it pretty good. Not the most appetizing looking thing, but should work. Now I've got some of the usual seasoning that I like. You guys know it's actually called the usual seasoning. I'm gonna sprinkle some of that in there, get it seasoned up. Something like that. I think I'll just put it on the fire. Got my little Alright, while we're waiting on that to cook, why don't we try some Sailor Jerry's on for size. Haven't had any Sailor Jerry's in a while. Cheers. Good. All right, let's test this out, see what we look like here. Sounds like it's working. Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna put it back on there for just a couple minutes and let it cook some of the juice out of there. The mullet jumping out there in the river. Big old mullet too. Alright, so I got my little red headlamp out because my other light here seems to be going dead. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I also forgot that I got a pack of cheese. So these should be delicious. I think we're good to go now. Oh yeah. So.
Yeah, back support. Like that stool, but boy, after sitting on it for a bit.
Right.
It's dead.
Alright, so we're pretty well all the juices out of it. And it basically turned it into almost like a pulled chicken sort of thing, which is really good, really hot. So let's set this thing down here and see if we can't make us a little wrap. Now these little sweet Hawaiian street taco things, they're really, really good. I'm glad I decided to go with that. Where'd
you find those at?
Got them at Walmart. Put me a little cheese on it. Put me a little with my chicken on there. Oh, stay on there. And I snagged me a couple things of Texas Pete hot sauce. Now that looks pretty good right there. Put a little hot sauce on there. Give this bad boy a try. So this is kind of like a chicken fajita street taco by the river. Pretty happy with that. Really, really good. I love that usual seasoning stuff. Really good. Alright guys, so I think I'm going to sit here by the fire and eat this and hang out here with Greg for the rest of the evening. It's our last night of the trip. And just enjoy ourselves. So I'll catch back up with you in a few minutes. Well, I have to say dinner was delicious. So Greg really enjoyed his dinner too. You had the Mountain House chicken fettuccine. He really enjoyed his dinner. So we got us a good fire going, and the temperature's starting to drop a little bit. So feels really good out here. We really enjoyed our trip down the river. We got a little bit more to do in the morning, but it has really turned out to be a good trip. We had a couple hiccups there, but all in all, it really turned into a good trip. I'm glad we were able to do it again. This has turned into a yearly thing for me and Greg, and just me and him take off and go for a few nights, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. So hopefully we can figure out somewhere else to go next year for our yearly trip. So pushing the limits, seeing what we can do. So I think I'm gonna leave you guys now, and I will catch you in the morning. Hey, good morning. I slept really good last night. Got up a little while ago and got the time lapses going for you, and then got a little fire built. Decided to come down there and check that fishing line, but no such luck. Really didn't have any good bait on it. Last night I put a little bit of beef jerky on it to see if maybe that would catch something, but no such luck last night. But I think it's time for us to go up and make some coffee. For sure. I'll tell you, I had a good dinner last night, and I've eaten almost that whole bag of beef jerky. But I'm hungry this morning, so I didn't make my oatmeal yesterday, so I got some extra oatmeal. I'm making a huge portion of oatmeal this morning, 3 packs. So that should be pretty good. I think our water's almost ready for coffee, so have some coffee here in a minute and get us some breakfast going. Oh yeah, that's good. I'll let you have it so I don't pour it on your hand on accident. Coffee. Alright, we got this big old bowl of oatmeal here. That's a good breakfast on a cool morning. Steamy oatmeal. It's good. It's good, you know it is. Same thing I almost always eat, right? I used to always joke about my dad being a creature of habit. Every morning he'd go to Waffle House and have breakfast. And every morning he ate the same thing. Triple scramble with cheese, bacon extra crispy, no toast, and a Diet Coke. And he did it so much that we would pull up to the Waffle House, and by the time we went inside, they'd already have his food ready for him. And he always used to joke that he was going to just decide he wanted something else for breakfast one morning just to blow their mind, but I don't think I ever seen him do it. He always ate the same thing. And I used to always joke about him being a creature of habit. You know, he always eats the same thing, but you know, I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree, because I find myself doing the same kind of things. You like what you like, right?
I got some biscuits and gravy with pork sausage.
The Mountain House Adventure Meal. And you haven't had that one yet?
No, I've not had it.
See how that turns out. What do you think?
Pretty good. Definitely recommend the Mountain View biscuits, gravy, with pork sausage.
Greg said that's a 2-serving meal, but it ain't gonna be today. It's gonna be a 1-serving meal today, huh? We sitting here enjoying our last morning here at camp, and we had to get packed up here in just a little while. We've got a short paddle out. We're gonna cut the trip a little bit short of where I was originally intending to go. The river traffic and everything that was going through here yesterday, it was pretty crazy. I assume today will be the same. And those boats, I mean, flying through here. And it's still a pretty good paddle on out to where I was going to. I think I kind of overestimated how far we were going to be able to make, which is okay. That just means I'll have to make a third trip down here, which is fine with me. But I think for safety's sake, it's probably a better idea for us to go ahead and try to get paddled on out of here. Plus, it's supposed to, the chance of rain's going up today, so there's a chance it might rain this afternoon. So I think we're gonna get packed up here in just a little while and go ahead and head down. Sarah's gonna meet us about noon. So we're not in a big hurry, but we have to start getting packed up here in a little while. Right now, we're just sitting here having our coffee and our breakfast and enjoying the last little campfire of this year's trip. So, it's been a good one, though. Okay, so I want to talk with you a minute. Come clean a little bit about something. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this because honestly, I didn't really want to rethink about it, and I didn't want to embarrass Greg in case he was embarrassed by it, but he gave me permission to talk about it, actually encouraged me to talk about it. So on day one, when we were coming down through there, coming past that island, I had gotten out to walk around and try to check the island out to see which direction we were going to be able to safely maneuver around it. And I had come back, me and Greg talked about we were going to go down the smaller side, the slower side on the right side. And so he was going to go ahead and try to go ahead and paddle around that way so I could kind of watch for him as he went down. Well, the river was running fast there and very shallow. So it made it real hard for him to be able to try to paddle any, and he couldn't put his pedal drive down because of the shallow rocks and everything. And the more he tried, the more he got pushed down toward the faster, deeper stuff. And so he got down that way and he started trying to paddle, started trying to paddle back towards the shore. And it was too much. And so he got to a point there where he was a little bit, you know, at the mercy of the river. It was a little bit too much to try to paddle, and he reached out and grabbed the limb to try to stop himself, and when he did, the boat capsized, and Greg basically held on to the limb, and the water just pushed the boat out from under him. And when that happened, the limb broke, and he basically ran the rapid without his boat. And I say rapid, this is not whitewater stuff, this is Florida rapids, but for us, we do flat water stuff. We don't do the whitewater stuff. So we're not, you know, we're not experienced enough to do that. And just to be 100% honest with you, that's the facts. We're just not experienced enough to do that. And so the boat got away from him and he went down the rapids, and after he got past that little section there, he was able to catch back up with his boat and kicked it off to the side. Meanwhile, I'm scrambling back and forth trying to figure out, do I run down the island and try to catch him, or do I jump in the boat and try to just run the rough water and try to catch him? And I was just frantic trying to figure out, you know, back and forth, and it felt like minutes. I'm sure it was only seconds that took me to decide. But so I got into my kayak and tried to get out past those rocks, and it was just so shallow, and I'm just hanging up on everything. It seemed like it took forever, and I just paddled out and ran down the rapid. And when I did, I seen Greg down there. He had already kicked over to the side. And in hindsight, we could have just run it, but you know, I was trying to err on the side of caution, which, you know, I definitely suggest erring on the side of caution. But if we had just went ahead and run it to start with, it wouldn't have been a problem. But, you know, Greg's my father-in-law, and I was trying to do the thing that I thought would be the safest for both of us. Not only that, he's a good friend of mine, so I was just trying to do what I thought would be the safest. And in hindsight, we should have just went for it. But in the process, Greg lost his pedal drive. So somewhere in the river there's a pedal drive for his kayak, and he lost sunglasses and got his clothes wet and stuff like that. Luckily, his sleep system stayed dry, and we were able to find that place to camp. That's one of the reasons that it was kind of just you know, necessary that we find camp pretty quick, because we needed to be able to get him dry and get his clothes dry, because it was going to start getting dark and cooling off. So we were able to do that. We found camp and got everything dried off. But the whole reason I wanted to talk to you about this is, you know, Greg, and that's why Greg wanted me to talk about it this morning, is he had his PFD on. And, you know, everything happened in a split second. And I know everybody has a tendency to want to, well, I keep my PFD in the boat in case of an emergency. But there is no way, absolutely no way, that in that instance, he would have had the time or the presence of mind to go, oh crap, things are going awry, let me put on my PFD. Just wouldn't have had time. Absolutely wouldn't have had time. And had he have hit his head on the boat or on the bottom in that rapid area there, who knows, he might have drowned, you know. But he just bobbed down through there and came up out the other side, caught his boat, and literally he lost his pedal drive, and that's an expensive thing, but, and a pair of sunglasses and a fishing pole. But ultimately, in the long run, it's a lot cheaper to lose that stuff than it would have been to lose Greg. And you know, he had his PFD on, and it kept him safe. It kept him above water. Even if he had hit his head and knocked himself out, it would have kept him above water. So I've always been honest with you. I've always been straightforward with you. And I wasn't going to say anything about this, but, you know, I think it's important for us to talk about it. That I know it's uncomfortable sometimes, and I will tell you, out of all the things that you can spend money on, if you're gonna skimp on anything, don't skimp on your PFD. Make sure you have a PFD that fits right, that's comfortable for you, because if it doesn't fit right and it's not comfortable, you're not gonna wear it. And it's something that I think is so important to wear all the time when you're in that boat, because you just don't have time. If things go sideways, you do not have time to think about it. So I know that was a little long-winded, but I just wanted to be honest with you and let you know what happened and kind of get that point across. If you're out on the water in your kayak, in a boat, what have you, wear that PFD. I don't care if you think, oh, it makes me look goofy and be alive. Well, I guess we have put it off as long as we can. The sad part of the trip. Time to pack everything up and get out of here. Alright, so we're all packed up. Made sure that fire was good and out and cool enough to the touch that you could just hold your hand there. So I'm not worried about that thing catching back up. Went ahead and raked the leaves back up so everything looks natural again. Leave no trace. Last thing we got to do is throw all my supplies down there to Greg and get up off of this hill, get everything loaded up, get back on the water. Dr. Pepper. I'll tell you, it feels good this morning out here on the river. Got a breeze blowing up the river. It's not cold, but it's nice and cool. You know, we have been really lucky with the weather this weekend. Really lucky. At nights, it's been down in the mid to upper 50s. I think it got down to like 53 or something, 54 or something like that last night. A little bit breezy. And fairly overcast, so it hasn't been baking in the sun or anything. So we've been very lucky. This is a beautiful stretch of river here, so if you ever get a chance to come paddle this is the lower Santa Fe. So we started at Hollingsworth Bluff, and we're going to take out at 129 Bridge today. That's like close to 14 miles all together. So it's a good little stretch of river to paddle. Boy, somebody did a lot of work to put that boat ramp in. That was a lot of chipping a rock to get that boat ramp in there, buddy. Hallelujah, we got a bridge in sight. Bridge is in sight. Alright guys, so we made it back, and we had a really good trip. If you enjoyed this video, give us that big thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for me. We also have a Patreon. If you want to support the channel and kind of help us out on these little trips like that, the link is in the description. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. We enjoyed making it. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.